All right, we're coming back. Our second match of this week 1 PAL Weekly. The teams are getting ready, finalized right now. We have Aftershocks on the TR versus Wildcard Syndicate on the VS. The officials are currently, as I said, getting the teams ready to fight. Rel, what do you think about this matchup?
Well, TR did get some shiny new toys, huh? During
They
a
sure
recent
did.
patch. And that match, what was it? TXR versus God, who was
Total
the other outfit?
Recoil versus Consortium?
No. Oh yeah. That was ridiculous. That was a ridiculous match. And what's funny is that they TXR was doing they were going underneath the bridge a lot to attack different points, and that's not something that we saw last match a whole lot between Consortium and Bade. So I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
it could be
There's a
interesting to see if these teams, because we saw that actually in our preseason. In the first match, there was like an all top level fighting, and then it went to second match, and there was like people using both levels of the octagon. When I say both levels, I mean the top platform area and then the underneath underbelly basement area, ground floor. Maybe we'll see a little bit of a different approach here. It seemed like the two top level strategies there hit head to head, which caused Consortium kind of to probably throw off their strategy. With Aftershocks and Wildcard Syndicate, it'll be interesting to see how these strategies play out because these are both new outfits to the PAL Weekly format. They were not in the preseason stuff. We had very limited preseason. So with these first couple weeks or so and people new outfits coming in, it's awesome to see new strategies develop that then can shape the course of PAL Weekly going forward.
Yeah, love to see I'd love to see somebody shake things up a little bit. I mean, you see a lot of heavy assaults, you see a lot of medics, you see a lot of engineers, and you can get some really good turret placement here. But the strategies they're very one-dimensional right now. I mean, there's not a whole lot of. It seems to me that when the outfits they pick a strategy, maybe they know going into it that this is what we're going to do. And there's the octagon allows for so many it's got 3 levels if you include the roofs of the buildings, which you see a lot of play from, at least at the start, and then I think the strategy kind of wears thin unless you keep on it. But there's a lot that you can do with this base, and I would really like for people to explore some of those options a little bit more instead of doing what feels maybe safe or what feels obvious.
I think the one thing to also consider with all of that is that the competition element does have a factor. I mean, when you are starting to get hit in the mouth, your strategy a lot of the times goes right out the window.
Was that Mike Tyson? I can't remember who said that. Like everybody has a plan until they get hit. I think that was Mike Tyson. Somebody in Twitch chat. Go Google that. Go
Mike
look it up.
Tyson said something that, like,
Intelligent? I know.
yeah, that sounds
It
very
might be. It might be
unlike
somebody
Mike.
else.
Unless he did it in Mike Tyson voice, of course. But yeah, I think it's interesting to see. We'll see more dynamics as the weeks go on, but holding two strategies and then being able to change things on the fly, and that's one thing that we saw Total Recoil in the preseason made them very successful. They were changing strategies, so you can't really come in with just the one. As you talk about, mixing it up. Mixing it up could come or the point where you are making a strategy on the fly because you're seeing what somebody else is doing and you're just playing with the opportunities that are being presented in front of you.
And like you said, the competition element. That's things are so fast paced, and I mean even when you look at the points, and it's only 12 guys against 12 guys, you think that hey it's going to be got a lot of room to move, and it's but the points flip so fast. We saw it last game, how like violent this competition is. That it's I think it'd be very very difficult to formulate on the fly. So as much as I'd like to say, or as much as I guess I said it that I would like to see different strategies and that adaptability. I can understand. I completely understand how difficult it must be to try to organize on the fly like that.
So our teams looks like they're getting in their final stages of being ready here. Again, thank you for your patience during the technical difficulties. That was just like a rogue problem we had there. Don't expect to see any more, but if it does happen, we'll be right back as soon as we can. These teams are getting ready. We'll do a little bit of a showcase of what these outfits are all about. Aftershocks comes from Connery. They're on Terran. Their tag is AFX. They have 534 total outfit members with an average battle rank of 40. Wildcard Syndicate comes from Matherson. They are the VS, and their tag is WLDC. They have 50 total characters with an average battle rank of 50. So, Rel, do you think there's anything here about, much bigger Aftershocks taking on a smaller Wildcard Syndicate? Obviously, we only have 12 here on each team. Do you think, though, that gives a bigger selection of talented players, or anything about that? Like,
Does size matter?
I think it depends who you ask.
The bigger pool of players, yeah, the bigger pool of players. Yes, maybe you can pick your A team, but that's I think that at the same time, depending on what type of outfit these guys are, and admittedly I don't know a whole lot about them, but if you run as a very, very large platoon, if you're doing ops nights or whatever, the strategy is, on a live game, very, very different from the small scale stuff that you'd see. And smaller outfits, just I tend to see them focusing more on that small scale strategy and the camaraderie and just this sort of connection where you can you know who's got your back, how your teammates are going to play with you. And I mean, this is all stuff that you can practice, but is having a larger outfit, having more, I guess, responsibility, is that going to really hamper or help this this matchup? I really couldn't tell you.
I think you do touch on something there, though. With smaller outfits, there is maybe an easier potential to have better chemistry within the individual members. So it could be a situation where Wildcard Syndicate, because they are smaller, their competitive team has played more together. But I don't know. It really goes down to the outfit level. Because Aftershocks could have their competitive team practicing day in and day out. So it's
Right.
more or less how you manage those members. But it's something to see, and it's an awesome dichotomy that we have with all these different servers getting into PAL Weekly and all different types of sizes of outfits, established competitive players versus people that are just getting into their first foray. It's a great chance with PAL Weekly to really test it and get that blood pumping, because every week we have a new tournament. There's 4 teams, 4 outfits that are coming on a first come, first serve basis. So you could, hey, we want to do competitive play. Let's get in on the PAL Weekly sign up and get involved. And then if you get eliminated one week, you can come back and play the next week. Consortium lost in the finals in the preseason, and they're back here this week fighting in match 1. So it's a really cool mechanism that we have to get new outfits and establish outfits a chance to show off a different type of play, infantry only, removing a lot of the cheese, so to speak, from Planetside 2, and putting them on a battle royale within a 4-point arena.
This is definitely a good starting point, if anything else. If you're in Planetside 2 and you're looking for something that's not just the Zerg, the normal grind, and you have a few friends, right? Get those friends, and maybe they'll have friends, and then get let's start some competitive spirit, right? It'll teach you something about the game that you won't see on live. And this is PAL Weekly Tournament is just a great place to get started.
And for the really established players, we have the PAL Tournament Series, which is more of the, you play 3 matches and it's a best of 3, and you kind of move on in a single elimination format, bigger bracket. So that's coming up soon. This is kind of taking the place of keeping competition going weekly, with a quicker turnaround on outfits and who can participate. If you want to be a bigger part of PAL, either on the staff or you want to play, check out our website, proarenaleague.com. We have staff signups as well as outfit registrations there. We are looking for more people to fill a queue now. You could be in next week's PAL Weekly. So get signed up, get your team ready, start practicing at the Octagon. There are people ready to go.
You know what? Small outfits. If you're looking for people if you're looking for free promotion, this is it, right? All you need, 12 people sign up. Oh, look, it's this name outfit. I hadn't heard of Wildcard before playing PAL, and or before this tournament right here. And it's if you want the promotion, it's here in front of the world to see. Is that am I like a circus ringleader?
Right?
Exactly.
See the bearded woman. But
Ugh.
it looks like we're getting close here to being done. We're waiting for the final ready from the Vanu team. That's Wildcard Syndicate out of Matherson. Once they're ready, we will be ready to go. Just to recap, this is match 2 of PAL Weekly Week 1. We have Aftershocks out of Connery going up against Wildcard Syndicate out of Matherson. They will face the winner. Oh, I'm sorry. They will face the match 1 winner. That was Bade, Bella Maternus out of Connery in the finals. So the winner of this will face the winner, Bade, Bella Maternus of match 1 in the upcoming finals. Looking at the poll from the week where we post each team in the PAL Weekly on our mini bracket and see how people kind of predict the matches will go. The results were a 53% vote in favor of Wildcard Syndicate, with Aftershocks getting the remainder. So slight favored edge from the voters at Wildcard Syndicate. Again, we'll have to see it because in match 1, the undervoted team ended up winning and moving on to the finals. Let's get, while we have a chance here, let's get Macon in and talk about our coin flip. Let me grab our head official, Macon. Macon, what were the results of our coin flip for this match 2?
For this match, the Terran Republic won the coin flip. So they chose the Southern Sundays. That means that Wildcard will be using the Northern Sundays.
I'm just getting word that we had a couple issues there, so that's what our delay was. Sorry for the delay. Are these teams ready to go yet, Macon?
It looks like they are. It actually, Wildcard is going to be starting with 1 less player due to account issues. They agreed to that, but it took him a little longer to log in than he expected, so they're going to be starting with 11, and he's going to join them as he gets his account ready.
Oh, interesting. So that could be an interesting dynamic right off the start. We'll see how Wildcard plays through that obstacle. I'll let Macon get off and get the match started. 30 seconds to start here. Again, the rules are PAL rules. We focus mainly on infantry, removing a lot of cheese, no shotguns, no maxes, obviously no vehicles. Some other things such as no sensors, no darts, no sensor placements. Fighting for the octagon, 4-point base, all inside the walls are allowed, cannot go over the walls or on the walls. If either team captures the entire octagon, they are the winner of the match and will advance on to the finals against Bella Maternus out of Connery, who won our match 1. If neither team can successfully capture this entire base, the outfit holding the most progress will then move on. So look at that timer. It could change in a moment. And the match has begun. Looks like a very strong push out of Aftershocks on the northern side, and a similarly aggressive push out of Wildcard Syndicate. They're all on the north side right now.
Locking down that D point, that's good. It's nice to get that one locked down and out of the way.
It's a really interesting thing. It looks like Wildcard went right. A massive majority of their people kind of went over to A and jumped up on the roof and stuff and just bypassed the Delta point. That's an interesting strategy. We have not seen an outfit kind of leave Delta because it's been hotly contested as it was in match 1. They kind of jumped it. Now they're at the Bravo without a lot of resistance, fighting Dally Point now. Wildcard now currently has the line, we call it, that's Alpha Bravo Charlie. They're holding the eastern side of the octagon and fighting up from the north side, fighting down, sorry, from the north side is Aftershocks on the TR. looks like Aftershocks has a strong aggressive hold on Delta Point. Might be losing that currently with a little flirting light assault action. What are you seeing out of Aftershocks in terms of their opening strategy here?
You know, I was slightly confused, but they were able to lock down the D point, then they were able to lock down the C point. There was actually there's an engineer turret on top of C. They ended up losing it. There was an infiltrator on top of C, and it looked like they were all set up for actually infiltrator action, scrolling around, and C gets taken down. A little bit of contention there at C, but they were all set up for a nice defense, and then it got swept.
It looked like for a moment there, Wildcard Syndicate had all 4 points early on in this match. So that, I mean, for being a man down, they have an aggressive start to this match, putting Aftershocks in a starting hole. Aftershocks seems to be rallying again, though. Again, we're about to have potentially all 4 points in favor of Wildcard Syndicate. I'm struggling a little bit here, Rel, to find where the TR are massing or what their strategy is.
Well, Aftershocks got a good amount, maybe 5, 6. Yeah, it looks like 6 on the D point here, so they just locked it down. Then we can start to see them moving out. Looks like towards A in force. Got a 5 on the bridge and a few more around the back.
So they seem to be moving as a major group. Are they swelling all together, or maybe 2 groups?
Yeah, it looks like the majority of people are at D points getting capped from behind them. They're definitely moving as a larger group. So whether or not that's going to come back to bite them in the rear end, I guess we'll have to see.
Well, it looks like it's hurting them now because Wildcard has 3 points to the 1 for Aftershocks. Wildcard seemingly has a very spread strategy. They're holding points on the edges. Looks like they're focusing on Charlie, Delta, and then flipping over to Alpha, and then moving aggressively when that middle point kind of gets in flux like it is currently. But
so Wildcard is coming around, sweeping the A, and they got a nice light assault action up on the roof, but looks like Aftershocks got a light assault up on Delta as well. So these light assaults, they're not actually going down to capture the point themselves. What they're doing is they're providing overwatch on the points. It looks like, oh, yep, we still got a light assault up on A, and it seems to be a common theme here, that the light assaults are the prelude to the the rush coming from below.
Yeah, I'm noticing it looks though that Wildcard is playing a much more spread strategy. You know, smaller groups, maybe 2, maybe 3 guys within a given point, or like you said, providing overwatch with a light assault on top and maybe 1 approaching on the inside, while the Aftershocks on the TR seem to be swelling in a bigger group, which is going to help them flip individual points because they can come in and obviously aggressively attack if they have 2 defenders that are dug in aggressively. They can take that out, but with the versatility of the smaller groups, they're getting 3 points and more often. The Wildcard Syndicate's getting 3 points more often, while that's allowing almost like a wrecking ball approach out of Aftershocks.
Right, and the Octagon it's very, very difficult to pull that wrecking ball approach, as you put it, because there's so much room between bases, and unless you're being sneaky and flanking the enemy and getting the coming from different angles, I don't think that you can have all of your forces in one spot and hope to just circle Zerg the outer points here. So hopefully Aftershocks, looks like we're even in points now, but hopefully they can divvy things up a little bit and start working on defense after they get that slight advantage.
Yeah, see if they can adapt to the strategy and somehow get it so that they are holding 3 and then choking out the smaller teams, like you said, using aggressive maybe covering zones where they're running into crossfire. That's the situation that they're going to have to control. It looks like, though, Wildcard, to their credit, as you said, they have light assaults on the top of these buildings that are not attacking points. They are just merely harassing incoming TR of Aftershocks and impeding the progress, which that's a great strategy. We haven't seen that really used this aggressively before.
Yeah, I think this entire match there has been a light assault on the roof, at any given time. Very, very little downtime, and that's good because once you're spotting the enemy, that's a major advantage. And the octagon it's small enough to where your callouts are they're going to be heard throughout your entire squad, regardless of where they are in the octagon itself. Yeah, it looks like a lot of contention over at Bravo. Oh, is secure.
Yeah, the Vanu wildcard taking the top triangle. They have Delta, Bravo, and Alpha, putting Aftershocks early on their heels. There's 1 minute left in this capture, currently for the Vanu. So they're aggressively taking this. I mean, we're at the point right now where Aftershock is going to have to scramble. I see a defense setup on Charlie. They might have to abandon their defense and say, we need points, because we're down to, I'd say, over 75% in favor of a capture for Wildcard Syndicate on the Vanu.
I think you're right. That engineer up there on the C point, he's sitting on a turret and he's got a good view of everything and he's protected. And that's really, you want to risk the more forces, because right now we have 2 people up on C, one of them's a medic, and there's just not a whole lot that you can do from that vantage point. And I think they definitely need to spread their guys out a little bit more.
I'm not seeing a lot of urgency out of Aftershocks. Like they're flirting with Bravo point, and there's a strong defense there from Wildcard Syndicate. We're down to 22 seconds left in this capture. Unless Aftershocks can flip a point and stop this immediately, this is looking like a quick advancement for Wildcard Syndicate.
Looks like a heavy assault going for the suicide rush on Delta.
5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3,
Get in
2,
there.
1, and there you have it. That is the match. Wildcard Syndicate defeating Aftershocks in a full capture style. Match 2 is now complete. Wildcard Syndicate will move on to face Bella Maternus in the final of PAL Weekly Week 1. Again, please stand by while we flip this match and get the octagon set up for our next and final match of the night. Wildcard Syndicate out of Matherson defeating Aftershocks out of Connery and moving on to face Bella Maternus, also out of Connery, in the finals. We'll be right back. Thanks.